So sometimes the value which you want to, or the information which you, or data which you want to save in a variable can be of a slightly more complex type. So let's say you have a variable cube. So I'll say var, and the variable name can be cube, and I'll try to assign it a complex type. So the complex type in this case can be assigned by creating an object. An object is something which allows you to introduce different properties and then assign value to those properties. So in the case of a cube, we can have an object which may have three properties. So a length, and I will basically assign a value to length. So I'll say colon and then 10. Then I can have another property which can be width, and the value for width will be 10 as well, and then height, and the value for height can be 10. So this data structure which we've just created on the right hand side, this is a complete object, and this is more complex object. It's not just a value, a single value, like we were initializing over here, or we were assigning in the case of the string literal. It's a more complex kind of type, and this has allowed us to create a complete object. And now we are assigning an object to this variable. So if I press enter and then try to access cube, you can see that it is now an object, a complete object which has three properties: the length, the width, and the height. And you can access any of these properties simply by typing in the variable name and then the associated properties. So we can say cube.width, and it will give us the respective value for the width. We can likewise do cube.height, and it will give the value for cube.height. Now once we have created an object, like you can see in this statement, we can still add new properties to this object and give them a specific value. So for example, this cube has got a color, so I can say cube.blue. Now blue is not a property in this object as yet, but if I say cube.color, color is not a property at the moment for this object, but if I assign it a value, let's say I say cube.color is blue, and then I press enter. Sorry, I've just added a hash. So now what it has done is that it has added a new property to the object with the name of color, and it has given it a value of blue. So if I type in cube again, you will see that now this object has four properties: the length, the width, the height, and the color blue. And just by trying to inspect this object, we've been able to find that the fourth property has been successfully added. And like the other properties, I can access color using the variable cube, and we can see that it has indeed added this property. So if you want to store more complex type, you can create an object and assign it to a variable, and then you can access the property, those properties, the values within those properties, and later in your code you can modify the structure of your object. You can add new properties and allocate values, assign values to those added properties as well.